Hey guys, it's Vince. Today in this video we're going to be discussing CNC service calls and what to expect when you do a service call. Okay, I never thought I would be doing a video on this, but I had a client, or at that point in time it was a potential client that contacted me last week. And I like telling you guys these stories because I feel there's always something to learn, something to gather, something to use in your arsenal of your due diligence when you're shopping. And this person contacted me, like many of you do. He found my YouTube channel, of course, a day too late, so to speak. And he was telling me that he contacted someone local to him to do a service call because he purchased a used system. It's a professional system in the fact that it's very large. It's a 12-foot router. And he had the individual come out, service his unit, charged him the first time $500 for the service call, charged him the second time $500, third time $500. Now he's into debt with this guy for like $1,700 plus. And I want to show you, because I didn't believe what I was hearing until he started forwarding me pictures. Then I found out he was local to me, and he was very excited about that. Relatively local. It was about an hour and a half drive. Now I do service calls. It's not always the best option for everybody, depending upon your mechanical ability and your budget, depending upon, once again, where you're at with your career with this. But he was adamant. He wanted me to come out and take a peek. I honestly, after he told me and sent me pictures of what this individual did to him, I wanted to see for myself because, again, some of the things I hear, I even have trouble believing. And believe me, I've seen a lot. So what I wanted to do is document it and show you exactly what he was telling me. And again, this is one of the pictures we took when we were there, me and my better half. And I don't even know where to go with this because, again, most of you are out there shaking your head, you're laughing, you're looking at this, and you're going, oh my God, what did this guy pay for? That's what I felt. Here's his breakout board. Nothing is shielded. Nothing is grounded. Take in count. They use blue painter's tape on the drives. Okay, this individual, claiming to be a professional, used blue painter's tape on the electrical wiring on the drives of the system. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the truth. I've used painter's tape to identify wires until I could, actually hook everything up and, get everything situated. I've never seen this with anything electrical. I've never seen a contractor of any kind dealing with electronics do that before, and that's what kind of shook me when he told me. And he's like, "Look at this, And I didn't know if he'd worked on it. He said no. He was very forthcoming, probably one of the most forthcoming clients I've had in really letting me know that he had absolutely no electronic experience. When I get a client that tells me all honesty and says, hey, you know what, Vin, I really don't know anything about electronics. I need you to do that. Those are the people I respect the most, and I'm going to tell you why. I respect them the most because I feel that they are relying on you to basically guide them with their business. That's a hell of a lot of trust right there. Okay? You are the holy grail for them in making or breaking their problem. And this problem will make or break his solution. The guy is very successful at running the machine, yet he has no electronic wiring experience, and he was adamant about telling me that. So that means that if he was that adamant with me, am I to believe that he wasn't that adamant with the professional that came out and serviced the system? We know the answer to that question. What we actually see here is a complete disregard for safety, which is number one. Okay? This particular client shares his shop with another artisan who does concrete moldings and whatnot. And again, this system is set right now to run on 220. And believe me, it gets worse. This is just the first picture as I'm going on, but it gets worse. And the thing that frightens me the most is that, safety always should be in your mind first, guys. I don't care what the electronics are you're working with. When you're dealing with voltage at all, you always have the potential for fire, okay? And to see this complete disregard for safety, let alone the machine is running like crap, if at all. But to see this complete disregard for safety is just appalling, okay? Just think of the liability factor. God, you could kill somebody. And that to me is, again, this particular contractor should be in jail as far as I'm concerned, because leaving a system like this, like I said, this is in a commercial environment. It's running under commercial standards, and this will cause I mean, well beyond the normal issues, so to speak, with the machine. Okay, as we go through these pictures, and again, many of you already know my thoughts on the VFD being mounted inside the chassis. Now, this particular individual claiming to be the professional did not do that. This client did buy the machine used. It was a Chinese machine, and as so many of the Chinese machines now coming overseas, we know that they do like to mount the VFDs inside the enclosure. Guys, if you have that, I will say it again, remove the VFD from being around your drives. All it will do is contaminate 98% of your step and direction signals. Will be dealing with a large amount of EMI penetration. If you want to test this, now I've had many different people come back and ask me, is this real? I want you guys to know an easy way to test this. Okay, you can turn a radio on near the machine and you'll see if you hear static. That's one easy way. Another easy way is phones. Turn on a VFD and a spindle near a phone, you will hear static in the phone. That EMI is penetrating the phone. I do service calls all the time. When I'm talking to guys, I'll turn a spindle on, you'll instantly hear static in the background. Even if the spindle cable is shielded, and the main reason you do is because, like I say to you guys, there's EMI present all the time. We're reducing it. That's what we're trying to do, is clean up that signal to where it's minimizing any type of penetration that can disrupt step and direction signals for stepper-based systems or any system. Okay, if you get EMI penetration, you're screwed. Okay, this is a no-no. You see this, I wouldn't even buy the system, let alone unless you're willing to relocate the system yourself. If you're not looking at doing work, this is definitely not the way to purchase a system. Coming over here, here's another interesting doodad that this individual decided to do. You could tell he's a makeshift electrician because he's using his screw joints right here, his butt connectors. He's got a butt connector here, painter's tape here, bare lead here. Again, if I didn't see this, I would not believe it. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping that my client is I know he's contacting his charge. I'm hoping he gets a refund. Guys, you've got to make sure if you hire someone to do a service call that you're paying them without cash, preferably with a payment method that is protected. Okay? Many of these guys come out, they'll give you a quote, they'll do things. In this instance, this is the worst instance I've ever seen. Okay? This is definitely a Craigslist. To me, it's like a Craigslist, 50 feet and I forget your name kind of deal. I mean, this is terrifying. Okay? He left the system like this. I confirmed it with my client numerous times because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He actually left the system like this. But it gets worse. It gets worse. This was me just shooting a picture of his gear mesh. I wanted to see because, again, doing a retrofit, I had to know the pinion size, all the gearing, the devil's in the details, and that's what you guys pay me to do. Now, this picture, many of you are going, what the hell is this? Well, this picture is probably the best picture to show any of my wannabe entrepreneurs who are getting involved in CNC or my entrepreneurs who are already making money with CNC. This is the most important picture I've ever posted anywhere, and I'm going to tell you guys why. This picture represents a piece of substrate that is ruined due to a machine's lack of repeatability, stability. We can go on and on, but this machine is right now in the condition it is after showing you guys that. It's beyond the realm of fixing without a complete rebuild as far as the controller. Okay, I don't know what kind of wood this is. I'm being totally honest. My wood connoisseurs out there can definitely tell you a lot more about it. But I want to paint an image in your guys' brain when it comes to pricing on systems and doing your due diligence. Okay, I have guys every now and then that will come to me and say, what is the price on your system? And I'll tell them my price. They love my YouTube channel, great supporters, follow everything. And then they'll come to me and say, what's the price on your system? I give them the price, and they'll go, well, it's out of my budget, this, that, and the other thing. I want to start I'm starting a business, or I'm a hobbyist. I hear that a lot. I'm a hobbyist. I'm not using my machine to make money. I'm just, cutting little widgets or whatever. And the bottom line is this. What are you asking for me to solve as far as the problem with either your business or where you're trying to go with CNC automation? Why I ask that question is when you factor in one loss of material like this and loss of time, because again, all this machining you see in here, this is much time is quantified as money just as much as money itself. So let's look at and factor in quantifying your time, quantifying your dollar amount, and figuring out what you're asking me that I do to solve for your business or your passion. I mean, maybe as a hobbyist, there are some true hobbyists who just want to cut things out. That's what they get off on. So be it. To me, to own this equipment, and I'm being totally honest, and not see the potential to make money, we would all be foolish. And again, that's why I tell you so many times, it's not about you telling me what your application is in that regard. If you want to just cut parts out, that's fine. You wouldn't be coming to me if you didn't care about the accuracy of the parts you were coming out with. You would be going to Harbor Freight and buying whatever you could buy to hand tool it and get away with, being off and just doing it by hand. You're not. You're looking for a robot so that you can optimize whatever you want to produce. If you don't have the skill set to do that, you're coming to me to solve that problem. And I'm asking you, what is that problem worth? Because if it's a problem that's going to make your business money, if it's a problem that's going to make your life easier and streamline the process of what you're trying to create, think about what that value is. Because when I give you the price of my system, let's factor in this client, and this is absolutely factual. This client is actually cutting cabinets with his router. It is 12 foot. He does large cabinet deals all the time, some in excess of 40K at a time. If a client pays him, he screws up the cabinet at maybe he's down the last 2 or 3 parts. What is that costing him? What is that costing him in time? What is that costing him with that client in potential time lost of actually delivering a finished quality product? Think about that. And then factor in what I'm asking for my systems, and you will plainly see there is no comparison, because the first time this client sees his system cut with accuracy and repeatability and stability, he is going to look at that and say, you know what, it was worth it. Because he realizes, just like you are realizing right now, many of you are already shaking your head, how much a system that's running is worth when it's producing accurate parts with repeatability. It's never late. It never steals from you. It never complains about working too hard. Think about that. It pays for itself the first time, because the first time equals 10 more times, 15 more times. You have U.S. support. You have U.S. support with the drive. You have U.S. support through me. You have component support. I speak your language. I mean, it's all logical. It's all simple logic, okay? When I look at stuff like this, and believe me, there's another picture here. Here. Totally destroyed, okay? And again, let's just say this is cheap dime store wood, whatever it is. What is his time worth, He's a graphic artist, so to speak, as far as his designs of what he wants to come out with, what he wants to cut, what his client needs. What is your time worth? What do you value your actual efforts worth? Mine are way the hell more than minimum wage, okay? I don't have all this education. I don't put all this time into doing this, educating you, so I get paid $3 an hour. That's not what I'm here to do, and I know none of you are doing that, okay? So when I see stuff like this, and I want you guys to be aware and understand the gravity of what I'm talking about. Many of you already do who are in this line of work. The ones just looking at transferring into it, or looking at their business model and saying, God, robots would make this entirely different. I'd be so productive. I want you to ask yourself what problem you're asking me to solve, and what is that worth to you? Because once you do that, you will realize very quickly that whatever quote I give you, and I say we can do this, I'm going to support the product, I have validation, you can check my site, you can check eBay, which is the most transparent market on the planet, okay? I mean, there's no doubt I'm trying to make it as open and as free-coming as you can see anywhere through social media, whatever it may be, in any selling venue, that you guys are the destiny of where we're going. Small business is where it's going to take America. It's not going to be the big guy. The big machine shops are closing. We see that. The guys that are owning this equipment already know it. They already know it. And many of you already realize it. Call your machine shop, find out how much it's going to take to cut this out, and then figure out what it's going to cost you to do it yourself by educating yourself, doing your due diligence, and you will factor in really quick, oh my God, I can make money. And many of you already have. So coming over here, you can see right here, more and more wires, same picture. Let's see. This, another amazing, I'm just in awe from. This is the plug that actually goes and powers his controller. Now, he had the system set up for 220, of course, for the VFD. This wire, you can see how thin this is. As far as it being shielded, you can obviously see it isn't shielded, but it gets better. I want you guys to see this. This right here is an IEC power plug. It is rated at 10 amp. You can see it right there, 125 volt. Okay, I know that because they sell these in different variations. They sell them rated for 220. They sell them rated 120, depending upon what application you're using for it. I use them on my system all the time. I use a trip light. This is certainly not a trip light. What's really interesting is the individual who decided to do this to his system used this to run 220. Okay, that to me is, again, should be punishable by jail time. I mean, that is essentially asking for a fire. Okay, I mean, it is absolutely astounding to me to see these kind of mistakes done, and it's become the norm, so to speak, as we went through the system. And it gets worse from here. I mean, I can keep going. His spindle cable that went to his actual spindle, number one, of course, no shielding. What was most, I would think it's just appalling to me that it had an actual hole in the PVC casing that was wrapped with painter's tape, and you had bare leads exposed. Okay, it's frightening. It's absolutely frightening, and I plan on definitely doing a follow-up video because this client did, like I said, he lost a lot of money. He lost a lot of time. That time is irreplaceable. It puts his business behind. This individual had to take loans out like many of you do. I mean, think about that, guys. It's scary. It's scary as hell to think that you've got a great idea. You start. He told me, he's like, I've got clients in line, and these are true stories. Many of you have gone through this. I have clients in line ready to pay me for depositing on products to make, but I'm scared to take it because I can't rely on my system. Okay, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's what I'm saying. Educate yourselves. Ask the questions. Surf the web. Find as many details out about what you're getting into before purchasing as possible. That is what we're here to do. Okay? That's what my goal is. My goal is, the haters are going to hate. That's what they do. It doesn't matter if it's my channel or any other channel. But if I can save you guys from seeing things like this and preaching it to you every single time, showing you more and more details of this, you guys will become empowered. And like I said, that empowerment goes a long way. I empower you with my knowledge. I empower you by hopefully saving you money, making you become successful. I will follow suit right behind you. It is no different. If I do my job right, you're going to make me successful because I'm making you successful. And I cannot emphasize that enough. And the haters hate that. They will, like I said, it's like many of you already know. How many of you have actually gone through that process of saying, hey, you can even be telling your spouse this, anybody that's close to you, and say, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to leave the 9 to 5. I'm going to start a business, or you're going to start a business while you're working the 9 to 5, and hopefully get that business strong enough to where you can leave the 9 to 5, and you have someone in your life go, that's not such a good idea. I don't think you should do that. Let me tell you, we've all been there. We've all dealt with that. Get past it. Put your mind where it should be. Move forward with whatever you do, and like I said, make sure you guys do your homework. This is frightening. When you see stuff like this, it's frightening. It looks fake. It looks like, I'm making this stuff up. I've had guys say that to me because I tell them all the time, you've never seen as much crap as I have when it comes to looking at this stuff online. And believe me, the stuff I've seen, I'm just putting it blank. It looks like shit. And I'm just telling you straight. I mean, most of the stuff, it never looks professional. It never looks like they care. It never looks like they're thinking, hey, you know what? If this was my business, how would I run it? If this was my business, what would I expect? If this was my product, what would I want to actually reach clients' hands? You guys are doing that. That's what's so important about small business. Small business means you have to care 10 times more than the big guy because your parts are being scrutinized much more than Walmart. So think about that and think in that terms, just as you're looking for a specialist in the field of working with your systems. When you do a service call, you want to know all of the details, everything. I want to know your history. I want to know your company, what kind of protection is involved if I go to pay you and I'm unhappy. Is there any warranty in the work you do? I mean, if the system takes a crap from 2 weeks from now, do I have any recourse to come back and talk to you? I mean, this is on site. This is someone you're actually seeing, a representative from a company. I mean, he's right there with you, physically on your grounds. Think about it. So, again, I really, really hope that this video has empowered you, has made you realize again to be careful, ask the questions. This is not an overseas problem. I've said this before. It has to do with what we're dealing with every day. Social media is an amazingly powerful thing. The internet is amazingly powerful, but if it's in the wrong hands and if it's manipulated, it can do a lot of damage. And unfortunately, in a lot of services that are offered today, we see it all the time. Many of us have been burned on everything. Like I said, I've had it happen, and I tell you, nothing pisses you off worse than knowing you've spent good money and you didn't get the quality of service or product that you deserve. So again, take your time, watch my videos. I hope most of you already subscribed. I mean, you guys I love, and again, I can't emphasize this enough. All of my subscribers, you guys are the best. I plan on continuing the channel, doing more and more videos. I hope you guys are not getting bored by this, but I know repetition leads to succession. So I know by you guys seeing this over and over again, you will be looking all the time for these kind of details. That's what I want you to do. This way, when you do see something that's out of whack, you can confront that enemy and hopefully get it eliminated before, laying out the Benjamins, because that's what it's about. Make yourself successful. Spend a little as you can to get the quality you need to make you successful. Okay? Another point I want to cover real quick before I go. Tomorrow, we're going to hold a raffle for the spindle. I've had a lot of support from this. I plan on doing this again as well. I want to thank you all. I love you guys. I will be doing it. I'll be probably doing a hat pull. I mean, I don't have a fancy hat, so you'll have to get by with, just an Under Armour hat or something. But I will do that. We'll give away the spindle, and I want to once again say thank you. Without you, I would not be able to do what I do. And again, let's keep everything on a positive note. I want everybody to grow from this, and that is the most important thing. And like I said, haters will hate. That makes us stronger. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. Thank you all. And if you do need to contact me, once again, you can contact me through my email, storm, STORM2313 @gmail.com. Or you can also contact me through eDealers Direct. That's my eBay store. Again, I'll have my links in the description. You'll be set with that, and you guys will be all good. Thank you again. Take care.